My 28 female, boyfriend, 30 male, refuses to listen to me, even if it saves his A. Too long did not read. I spent days coaching my boyfriend for his dream job so we could stay in our city. He ignored every piece of strategy, fixated on textbooks, and then discovered my advice too late. My boyfriend, 5+ years EXP, had an interview for a senior position at a global firm. If he gets it, he gets to stay in our favorite city. If he fails, he will have to relocate to a city we hate. Long story short, he spent days obsessively researching basic technical definitions when I told him, essentially screaming, that he needed to prepare for behavioral questions and organizational, and that it is unlikely he will be quizzed with student-level questions. When I got angry that he wouldn't listen, I ended up being the one to apologize just to keep the peace. I insisted we do a mock-up, and he eventually agreed after I asked him multiple times. And he just kept whining about not knowing the answers and not wanting to try to at least find the answer within him. He relied on AI. He didn't have an introduction, I made the template for him. He didn't have a strategy, one made it for him. He didn't even research the company profile, you can guess what I did. The day of the interview, he found out that the questions are, in fact, behavioral and organizational. What a surprise. I feel bad for him, but I also don't. It was an unpaid labor of love, one that I, as a woman whose voice is often drowned and ignored, don't feel appreciated enough. I'm done. So you have to do all his work so your life is not completely derailed? Yes, duh, you need to leave him. Do you need advice on anything? Have you considered heading towards the parenting subreddit? They can give you good advice on how to deal with a teenager that doesn't listen to his mother. My boyfriend is incredibly insecure, and it's making him emotionally abusive. Trying to navigate initiating a breakup. Too long did not read. My boyfriend is incredibly insecure, and it's making him emotionally abusive. How do I go about navigating a breakup? I, 21M, been dating my boyfriend, 23M, for around 5 months or so. He's generally sweet, but has some really severe bouts of insecurities, and he tends to end up lashing out at my expense. During these times, he constantly accusing me of cheating, constantly guilt-tripping me, constantly negging me, and calling me names during arguments. I can't bring up how he hurt me without him wallowing in despair about how bad he feels for hurting me. I end up having to be the one to console him. I can't react to the ways he's decided to treat me like shit because he'll get mad at my reaction to his behavior and use it as justification for even acting out in the first place. I'll sit and try to explain basic empathy, that just saying and believing every feeling you have isn't fair. For example, he'll want to say, I've been feeling really rejected lately, but instead say, you never want to hang out with me anymore. Constantly telling me he hates people who rug pull, or saying that he'd K/LL people who cheat, and then slipping in or break up with me to put me on edge. I tell him off and he tells me that I'm always taking everything he says in bad faith. We had a really long talk, where I said I'll give it a go one more time, but I can't be the same person I was because he kept breaking my trust. He lasted for like 2 weeks before he told to get it together, and it's so overwhelming. It feels awful, and I feel so stupid for putting up with it for so long. I've attempted to break up 3 times, within the span of 5 months LOL. And each time he has begged me to give him another chance, and I still do despite knowing I shouldn't. It's really upsetting because I'm realizing how much of a pushover I am for letting it happen. He's made a previous attempt on his life in the past, and I'm afraid breaking up with him might just push him over the edge. I feel trapped. Has anyone dealt with someone similar? And how did you navigate leaving? The cycle won't stop until you stop it. You're very young and haven't been together long. Take this as a learning opportunity, cut your losses, and pay attention to the red flags in the future. Just reading this was exhausting. Just ghost his ass. He may get better eventually, but you don't owe it to him to wait. 5 months is not long. I'm dealing with the same situ. You just have to do it. It sucks, but you already know. Leave and don't look back, OP. You can't afford to trade your peace over anyone. My 36 male, wife 31 female, has overspent on our joint account repeatedly. What would you do? My wife and I have been together for 6 years and married 3 years. Before I married my wife, I knew she was the type of person that spent everything in her bank account and wasn't much for saving money. I'm more financially responsible and like to have an emergency savings. We also have some significant credit card debt that we are working on paying off. About 6 months ago, we decided that we wouldn't touch the credit cards anymore, and we opened a joint account where we deposit 80% of our income and keep the other 20% in personal accounts. The hope was that we wouldn't be nitpicking each other's personal purchases, and all of our family bills, grocery, loans, credit cards, and such would be paid from our joint account. This allowed her to spend all of her personal money, allowed me to save money with my 20%, and allowed us to cover all household bills and put money towards our credit cards. A few months ago, she had overspent on our joint account by about $700, where I needed to move my personal savings to the joint account so we could pay our mortgage. This month, she overspent around $3,000. I basically have emptied my personal account and my emergency savings in order for us to afford our bills. I don't spend a lot on myself, and truthfully her overspending is her doing random remodel projects around the house with the joint account. She isn't buying herself thousands of dollars worth of clothes and jewelry. I'm worried that if it happens again, I'll have to make a decision about us staying together or not. Would this kind of behavior be a deal breaker for you? Or would you keep trying to fix it even if it keeps happening? How many times would it have to keep happening until you left? Too long did not read. Made a joint account for household purchases and bills. Wife has overspent joint account for the second time. What would you do? Edit. Thanks for the feedback, everyone. I'll sit down with my wife again and really make it clear that if this continues, that it will affect our marriage. I'll also be more involved with monitoring our joint account and be discussing uses for said account. Thanks for keeping it positive and helpful. For someone so financially responsible, why is there no joint savings or emergency fund? What are these random remodels? Those do need to be agreed on. What did she say when you spoke to her about this? I think you guys have always been financially incompatible, but you married her anyway. Most divorces happen due to finances. Girlfriend threatens breaking up every time we have a minor disagreement. Too long did not read. My girlfriend talks about breaking up when we have any sort of minor disagreement. Every time me, 22M, and my girlfriend, 23F, have even the smallest disagreement, she just says maybe we should break up and that I should find someone else. I've never suggested breaking up, but she brings it up all the time. She's broken up with me about 3 times, but I always knew it was a bluff because she texted me again and acted all nice when I pulled away. Many times I told her I have no intention of ending things, and I want to work out issues with her. Today was not cool. We had a discussion about whether we'd stay together if she stayed in her country forever. I said I don't speak the language there, and it's very difficult for foreigners to get a visa. I said if she decided to stay in her country, which she's always talking about leaving, it would be basically impossible to have a long-term relationship. She said I don't truly love her and started crying. She said again we should break up cause I don't love her. I told her I don't like when she threatens to break up. She said that I deserve it because I said something hurtful to her. I said I had no intention of saying something hurtful and just answered her question about moving abroad in a pragmatic way. I would love to, but it depends on opportunities. I don't even know where to start. Am I missing something? Why does she always threaten a breakup and cry after even a minor disagreement? I never said anything intending to hurt her, and watch my words carefully. I feel like I'm in a minefield. Take her up on it next time, and find someone more mature and less toxic. Dump her mate, not long-term future there. Sounds like a nightmare. Imagine having kids with that. You are both still quite young, so I guess she is immature and inexperienced. Tell her how you feel. She shouldn't keep threatening you in a more serious way. It needs to be clear there will be consequences.